Welcome to Screen Recaps, and today we are going to be recapping the movie Along with the Gods, The Two Worlds.
Firefighter Kim Ja-hong emerges from a burning building, carefully carrying a young child in his arms. The girl runs toward her parents, and Ja-hong hobbles after her, but no one seems to notice him. A female voice calls out his name, and he turns around to see Lee Dukchoon, who introduces herself and Haewonmaek as the defenders for his death trial. Ja-hong has perished in the fire while saving lives, and he can only watch while his colleagues weep over his limp body. Ja-hong refuses to follow them into the afterlife because he is worried for his deaf and mute mother, but he gets sucked into the portal nonetheless. At the entrance into the afterlife world, Grim Reaper Kangrim greets Ja-hong. Dukchoon remarks excitedly that Ja-hong is the once in 19 years esteemed guest because he died a noble death. These three responsible for him will gain a chance for reincarnation if they successfully guide 49 spirits, and Ja-hong may be their 48th. There are 7 levels of hell, and the first one he encounters is for causing the death of others. As a firefighter, he didn't manage to save his colleague. His colleague had persuaded him to escape with the casualty first and come back for him. But before Ja-hong could do so, the building exploded. The second level of hell, sloth, is in the circumstances. Here, Ja-hong gets a pass after the defenders argue for him, saving him from the waterfall. In the sword forest, they encounter numerous vengeful spirits. This indicates that someone in Ja-hong's immediate family has passed away, and he is immediately anxious about his mother. Kangrim enters the mortal world to find out. The third level of hell, lies. Ja-hong had written letters to the daughter of the colleague he failed to save, and written letters to his mother to assure her that he was all right, even when he wasn't. These lies make a convincing case against him, but Deok soon defends that these were white lies. He passes. Fourth level, cold-heartedness. People who did not help others are frozen in ice. Ja-hong passes this easily. In the human world, Kangrim is trying to figure out how the brother, Kim Soo-hong, died. Turns out another soldier, Won Dong-yeon, who seems mentally challenged, had accidentally shot him, and the superior, Lieutenant Park, had covered up for him. His brother was simply reported as being missing in action from the army. Watching the brother's death, Kangrim has flashbacks to the past when himself was a warrior and how his father died. Deok soon tells Ja-hong how none of them, besides the Grim Reaper, has their memories. She's envious of how Ja-hong has his and can only appreciate the beautiful surroundings around them. Ja-hong remarks that he loves the scenery, and Haewonmaek accidentally reveals to Ja-hong that his brother has died vengefully. The cable car that they are taking start to shake, and 3 of them are almost tossed out. In the mortal world, Kangrim is digging up the grave of the brother. Haewonmaek arrives and confronts him for messing up with the mortal world. They are supposed to destroy the bodies, not dig them up. Both of them engage in a fight, and Kangrim manages to gain the upper hand. In the army, Lieutenant Park tries to convince Dong-yeon to take a break outside. Kangrim follows Dong-yeon to a club and observes that the disco ball is played with by the vengeful spirit of the brother. Kangrim immediately chases the spirit and manages to trap him at a tower. Now, a vengeful spirit, Soo-hong, reveals that he was essentially buried alive. He was barely alive after the gunshot, but they did not save him. Kangrim says that because of him, Ja-hong is having a hard time in the afterlife. But the brother replies that Ja-hong had left home 15 years ago and doesn't care about them. The 5th level of hell is betrayal. He passes. Kangrim is back with the gang, and Ja-hong pleads for them not to destroy his brother. That they cannot do, they can only bring people across the afterlife or destroy them. Dong-yeon visits the mother and passes her a map before running off. Soo-hong peers over her shoulder. In the mortal world, Dong-yeon sings the song that the brother had taught him while tightening the noose around his neck. Dong-yeon kicks off the platform, and as he hangs loosely from the ceiling, Soo-hong begs Kangrim to save Dong-yeon and would do anything in repayment. Kangrim cuts the noose. 6th level of hell, violence. Down the hole, the rocks vibrate widely and the 3 of them are tossed around. Haewonmaek sighs, saying that this can only mean that Kangrim is interfering with human affairs again. Soo-hong bows respectfully to Kangrim and pleads with Kangrim to deliver some words to Dong-yeon. He sings to Dong-yeon, and the brother tells Dong-yeon that he didn't do anything wrong, and not to waste his tears over what has happened. At the same time, all hell breaks loose, in the afterworld. Dukchoon gingerly says that there was a victim of Jahong's violence. Jahong watches the scene of him beating his brother up when they were kids, as his mother slept soundly. Soo-hong watches as Lieutenant Park arrives to fetch Dukchoon, and Kangrim brings him to collect his body. The prosecutors say that there was no indication of forgiveness, and the god orders punishment for Jahong. Dukchoon runs forward to ask for the case to be heard together with the next hell. This means that if Jahong isn't ruled innocent in the next court, those responsible for him will never have the chance to be reincarnated as well. Soo-hong walks alongside Kangrim and says that on the day that he was beaten, he had awoken to see Jahong sitting blankly next to their mother, clutching a pillow above her head. The defenders confront Jahong that he wanted to kill his mother, but Jahong corrects them, saying that he wanted to kill his whole family. He had prepared sleeping pills for himself. That night, he ran away from home because of his guilt and to protect his family from himself. Kangrim and Soo-hong arrive back at the military base only to witness his mother charging into the square. She wears a sandwich board asking for redress for her son, and Lieutenant Park almost throws him out before she pushes the map into his hands. They can only watch as his mother is being pushed to the floor and sent into an ambulance, and Kangrim advises Soo-hong to let his mother live her mortal life. In the afterworld, Haewonmaek cuts down sand spirits one after another. Soo-hong gradually transforms into a vengeful spirit again and breaks the chains that Kangrim had put around him. He tosses Kangrim aside, and the desert afterlife swarms violently around them. Soo-hong transforms into a raging tornado, and Lieutenant Park runs to drive the ambulance to safety. Kangrim tries to bring each man to safety and calls for Haewonmaek. Suddenly, Jahong pushes Dukchoon aside, and she stares at him in shock. Jahong is slowly sinking into quicksand, and he desperately pushes Dukchoon aside. Her screams are heard by Soo-hong through the portal that Haewonmaek came by. This gives Soo-hong pause, and the moment of distraction allows Kangrim to take him down. In the afterlife, a sandstorm brews around them, revealing the final hell. The god of death awaits them and pronounces Jahong guilty. Dukchoon argues passionately for him, and the god reveals that on that night, the mother was not unaware. She knew that Jahong had wanted to kill her, but remained stationary. The god of death exclaims that his mother had lived her life in guilt and remorse, and Jahong cries that he is guilty. This is also witnessed by Soo-hong. The sentence is read out to Jahong, but as this happens, a great disturbance occurs. A voice calls out "Mother," and shocks everyone. The scene reveals that Kangrim has allowed Soo-hong to visit his mother in her dreams. Soo-hong is dressed in red robes and says that he had successfully become a prosecutor. The two otherworldly beings, Kangrim and Haewonmaek, stay dutifully outside, and Soo-hong laughs that they are his subordinates. They witness Soo-hong sobbing as he asks his mother for forgiveness for his bother, and how his brother had spent the rest of his life working hard to feed for them. In the dream, their mother replies, and this is the first time they have heard her voice. Both brothers are surprised, and their mother say that she has never blamed them, and everything was her fault. She apologizes and embraces Soo-hong tightly, calling out, "Jahong, Soo-hong," gently. Jahong runs forward and grabs at the sand, portraying his mother's face, and the god of death proclaims that Jahong is not guilty. Jahong has gained his chance at reincarnation. As light surrounds Jahong, he bows deeply to Dukchoon and thanks her for her help. Even the prosecutors shed tears as they watch Jahong leave the levels of hell. Back in the mortal world, Soo-hong cries as he sends off the ambulance. Kangrim smiles and says that Soo-hong is a noble person as well. Haewonmaek says that if not for Kangrim's pleading, he wouldn't have come to the mortal world, and Kangrim realizes that the previous fight with Haewonmaek was actually the god of death himself. A parcel arrives for the mother in the hospital, delivered by Kangrim. This contains the rice cooker and final letter that Jahong wanted to gift his mother. Kangrim arrives at the gates of hell, accompanied by Haewonmaek, Dukchoon, and Soo-hong. Kangrim tells Haewonmaek to follow him in fighting the army before them, so that Soo-hong can become their 49th person.